Welcome to the full stack web tutorial where I'm going to teach you how to use Express.js with EJS, and we're going to be using MongoDB as well. And I'm going to show you how you can connect these all together to create your own website with a database, backend, and a frontend. So again, we're using Express as the main part of this website, and we're going to be using its middlewares to configure the JS, to configure Express, and then we're going to use routes to kind of navigate the website. And because of that, these routes, we're going to send different types of HTML files or EJS files technically. But in the front end, we got our EJS, which we can pass data from Express to the EJS file, and that EJS file can use that data. We're going to use JavaScript to make the site a bit more interactive, and then CSS for styles. Where the front end and back end will communicate by using requests and responses. So front end will make a request, Express will handle that, and send back a response. Now, for our MongoDB database, if we were going to create an account, we'll make a request to Express, and then Express will go and add that to the database after it made a connection to it. And then if we were going to retrieve data of a user, we will send a request, Express will get that data and then send it back as a response. And so that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. We're going to go into Virtual Studio Code so I can show you guys how to put this all together and connect it, and yeah. So guys, so this is where we are at. I've already written most of it. I'm just going to explain what it does because it will take longer for me to write it all again and to explain to you what's going on. But for one, in order to get this file structure, first thing we're going to do is you're going to want to do is npm init. So once you create the folder or what you're working at, you'll need to navigate to that folder and put npm init. That will ask you a series of questions. Just hit enter until it's done, and this will create these two packages right here. And in these packages, it just tells you what this whole node project is about. But next, what you want to do, you want to install these dependencies. So to do that, you go down here, do npm install, and then you want to do parser cores .env EJS and Express, just like that. Not only that, I should say, if you don't have npm, you can install it. You just gotta install Node.js, and that should automatically come with npm, and then you'll be able to do something like this just to see what version your node is. So yeah. So once you have that and you installed these packages, so we can start. So right here in app.js, you'll want to create app.js file. You can put this as main, but it won't matter because it won't matter if you need this, because what you're going to write is a start node app.js, but I'll get to that later. But for now, create an app.js in the base directory right here. Don't worry about know where this is because I'm using GitHub. But yeah, so what you want to do is create an app.js file, and at the start you want to require everything you need. So for instance, first thing you should do is require Express, then you want to require your path, body parser, the chords, and .env. You want to do these 5 first, so you have them in your file. The reason why you want to do this is so that you can actually use the packages you installed, so you can use these 5 in your code. And that's why we want to require all these 5 in here. And we're going to make them const. You can make it be a let or whatever, it doesn't matter, but const is usually what you want to go for when you're doing these, because these technically should never change. And now what we're going to do is you want to configure it. So this is your .env.configure. This is what makes this .env file work. We're going to do that here soon. We're going to get to that file here soon. We're going to ignore this for now until I get the rest of this explained. So for our app here, we create app variable to hold the Express app. Then we create a router variable so we can create our Express router. This is what we'll use to navigate the website. Oh, didn't mean to do that. And right here sets our view engine to EJS, so we can use that on our front end. And we actually need to set where we'll get our views at. So we're calling it views, and then we're going to get the directory at which is at, so that'll be right here. So in your paste directory, you want to create a views folder. Then in those, you want to create pages and partials. And then if you want, in that pages folder, create index.ejs. And you can just leave that blank if you want, but I'll get to that once we get to it. Now, next one is some middlewares that needs to be set up to even use like the requests and responses. So for instance, the body parser package that we get, you can have it use JSON and use RL encode so that we can parse the body that we get from the response or the request, and then we can use that data. This here allows you to use it in Express as well. This is pretty much the same. Express can do it, and so body parser, but I always have that just in case. And then chords, because you can't actually talk between 2 different things. You can't send requests or responses to do 2 different ports without chords, and sometimes it's just stupid. Anyways, for how we're serving our files, we're actually going to be using static serving. So we'll serve static files, and you just use the express.static and then the path name, which is our public folder. And you want to always make sure you use app.use for when you're setting the middlewares, and set for when you need to set different engines for this, for instance the view engine. But anyways, in that public folder, that's where we have our CSS or JavaScript and any images we might want to add to this website. But that's what we want to do in there, is add these, because this is what our browser will be pretty much looking at. Next, I always do this. You get the router variable, use the router variable with .get. So this will handle any requests that are on just a base path. And what I do is I always redirect it to /home. So when you do this, you do .get, the path that you want to handle. So for us, it's just the base /, the request and response, and then you want to do response.redirect, then to home. As you can see, when we go here, app.use, when we actually put this route for this part, we're using the router, so we're actually using this here to get that. And then on the second line, when we do /home, we want to handle it through the home controller, which we are requiring up here. So when we make a variable called home, and we're acquiring it from this controller right here. And then lastly, we are getting this app, and then we're calling the listen method, and we're using our env file to display our port. And then we're doing some error handling as well. So this callback function, it's an error variable. Then if this variable exists, usually when we have an error, we'll actually tell the console that we have an error and what it is. If not, we will say it's running on this port, and then we just export the app so we can actually use it. Now, whenever it comes to this right here, you want to create a .env file in your base root directory, and in that you want to just do all caps port equals and the port number you want to use. I would say use this one or 3000 or 5000, whichever one. You can do that there. And this, after you had configured it right here, we'll get the port, and we'll see that once I run this. But now with home controller, it's going to be important. So in our source folder, when you create this in the root directory, we'll have our home controller here. And in this home controller, we're going to require Express. We're then going to need to require the router again. You're going to create a router. And this will actually handle all routes that have to do with home. So for instance, if I wanted to do this, so router.get, let's say, what should we do? Let's just say home info, right? I guess. All that we'll do is, we don't really want to do this, but we could. But actually, you know what? Might as well. So go here. .ejs. Just do that. Then say which one, and then we'll have that be this message. Alright, we'll do that. I'm just gonna do that real quick so I can show you what I'm doing. So pretty much this will practically get home that. This one will get home info. That's pretty much what it's doing when we are doing these controllers. So when this goes and we put in our local host, right, of our port, and we go to home, we go to this slash right here, this will run. And if we do the same thing, if we go here, but instead of that slash we did /info, this will run. That's pretty much what that's all doing. And that's because when we go back to app, right here, when we use for the /home, we're using the home control to handle every route at this route, to handle every route at this specific route. So everything will just be in this file that has to be related to home. And yeah, so when we do that, we need to create the page, right? So we have index.ejs. What I just did in Visual Studio was I just did shift exclamation point, and it already has what I want to do right in there. And then what we'll do is set the title, we'll link CSS. Now I'll explain why this is not a relative path real soon. We're just going to say hello world, welcome. And when you have EJS, you can send data to the file like I just did when we go back to here. Like I just did right here. Right in here, we're going to do message, then the message, and that is in this data field because when you do render, you have the string at which you want to or you want to send what EJS file you want to send or what view you want to send, and an object callback, and that an object which is this, and we're not adding a callback to this. We could if we wanted to do errors like it says right here, but we're not going to be. We could just do that if you want. You could just do this right here, and it'll do error if status 500 send error occurred, or else just send HTML. But I want to see what it actually does. That might actually be better for error handling, at least. But anyways, and then I just made this file just to show you that you just so you can see what I mean by this. Other than that, we just have this CSS file, just a normal CSS file right here, just to show that. That's about it for that. To add that, all you just do is go to your EJS file, do a link, CSS, and then you will need to put this to be CSS \style sheet. The reason why it's like this is because of how we are saying our directory, which is right here. So really, Express is going to try to pull our files from this. So when we are getting CSS files, we have to do CSS/that because it's going to look in here, and then CSS and then that. So we're not going to be using relative paths when we're using EJS. So there's that one. Controller. I'll try that. Yeah. Alright. So now let's run it. So to run it, if you did this, start node, it just pretty much makes it so much easier. So I don't have to do node app.js. I could just do npm start, and that will call this start function for us to do that. So for start, as you can see, it's running on port 880, and then if we go to our browser, do localhost of 880 / that will redirect to home, which is what is happening right here. Redirect us to home, and then this home got called, and that's going to right here. And as you see, it actually just worked with sending us this, so we can use this for error handling in case we can't get that for whatever reason. Like for instance, I don't really know exactly how to showcase that, because I guess if we do this, I'm pretty sure this is fresh reload, right? they're trying to show the error page. There you go. So as you can see, when we do /home and it doesn't get it, we send the error. Error occurred right there. And then we do fail to look up this page in this directory. As you can see, when we do get this is our root folder, and it's looking in views to find this website right here, to find the actual EGS file, and that EGS file will look in public to get the CSS. So that's what that's doing. But yeah, that's what will happen if we did that. So let's put that back. Let's put this back. Let's just refresh. There we go. Now as you can see that works, and as you can see right here, hello, that was the data that was passed to this EGS file. That is this line right here. That's getting passed into the file and getting caught by this right here. So EGS, in order for it to use data that we send it, you have to make sure you open it up with less than and greater than sign. Then you need to make sure that next to those are parentheses, and then you need to make sure that you put equal right here to make sure that it wants. So you're telling EGS to put the message data right here, and this message needs to match wherever you name here, because I can name this text, and then I have to go in here and name this text if I want to use it. So just make sure that those are correct, or it's not going to work. But anyways, now if we go to home info, as you can see, when we do that, it got this one, and it went and said this was the data that was passed. Now let's say, now to showcase this, if we do just normal info here, as you can see, it can't get it because info is part of the home root. It's a child of the home parent, I guess you should say. So you can only get info if you use /home/info to do that. So that's kind of how that works when it goes to navigation. So yeah, that's how this would work for that. Of course, we're not going to do that, but yeah, so this is how that would work with this file. And yeah, so that's pretty much how the website is working right now. It simply will redirect if you're on this backslash. So if you go to the home page, that home page is being controlled by this express router right here. So when we get just a backslash of that, we send just a normal home page, and we're also adding some error handling so that we can make sure that we know what's going on. So as you can see, it's all running and working, and yeah, that's pretty much what this entire code does. You can always stop and just copy it. I also have a GitHub up. I should be able to make it, I think I have to go in and make it public, but I will link it in the video. But yeah, I'm trying my best if I could explain all of this, but I'm pretty sure I kinda did. If you got any questions, just put them in the comments. I'll just answer them. I'll try to answer them immediately because it can be very confusing. But I guess there's one thing I should showcase though. It's this right here. Because let's just call this T. Let's restart this. Let's remove that T. Go back here. Go here. And then let's do see, of course, it doesn't get it. So when we go to expect element source, as you can see, it can't find it because of this. In order for us to get this, it has to get it from /CSS style sheet. And that is because when we go back, this public folder is going to be used by right here when we serve these static files. So we're serving these files to the browser. So the browser will have a path for CSS, path for images, and a path for JS. That's pretty much what it's doing there. And not only that, I'm pretty sure that if we fix this now, do that, go back here, hit F5. As you can see, F5 just resets it, refreshes it. And then if we go back here, console sources, as you can see, under localhost right here, you have your home HTML file, and then you have your CSS file. Same thing with JavaScript. So if we were to add a JavaScript file, right here, we'll just do .js, go into pages right here, do a script, there's our C, go JS, and then random.js, and we're going to do document.get element by ID. Actually, I should probably make that first. Alright, do that, and then do ID random, math.random, short, and then we just start it. Here and refresh. See that we're same proper renewal, of course. Pretty sure we have to actually set this to this. /p, right? Yeah, /. There. See if that works instead. No? Of course. But anyway, as you can see, right here, we're doing this. So our local host is getting our JS folder and it's giving us the actual JS right here. I'm pretty fucking sure that I'm just doing this completely wrong, but I don't care. This is why you don't always listen to Codebot, because I was wrong. child. Create text node. Map.random. I have no idea what the fuck happened there. That was weird. It's still loading for some reason. Cannot read properties of no. I have no idea why you're doing that. Like, what? Alright. Let's go make it fucking P tag. Make it P tag. Pretty sure you just do this. That's so weird. That's the right syntax, yeah. Okay. Is it just because it's a string literal, not an actual string? I don't think that's working. Nah, it's like this. Yeah, I don't know. Wait a minute. Okay, it's not that. Yeah, no, that's not it. That's kind of annoying. That is very annoying. I don't like that. I do not like it. Okay, just let me just. I bet you it's could. Yeah, no, it's just not. Can't set properties at null. This is so fucking stupid. Always use stack overflow. I don't know. Right. So I could have done this. Could have done that. But you have to go. Because the fucking property is not even loaded in the first place, as you see. Yep, okay. That's why. I was being retarded. But it's okay. So, yeah. Put that in there. That does that. And then when you go into here, sources, again, here's the JS file. It'll get this, it's practically getting this, JS, and then random.js. That's what that, actually, if you type that in, brings up that, what this file has. That's where it's getting that stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have. That last bit was just me trying to randomly get something that works so you guys can see my struggle. So, yeah, that's about it. Let me just delete this shit. Don't need any of this. Don't need this. Oh yeah, also, if you guys don't know what that defer is, pretty much instead of putting this whole line right under here, you call it defer, and that will practically just do that. It will load this right after everything's loaded. Yeah, right there. It tells the browser that the script is meant to be executed after the document has been parsed or like rendered. So yeah, that's what that does. It's just so you don't have to put it all the way at the fucking bottom of the website. You just do it up here and just call it defer. But yeah, the whole area of what I was doing was I was trying to get this element, and it didn't exist yet when that ran. That was it. I knew I was fucking, the code wasn't that well. But yeah, so anyways, we don't need this either. Fucking fix everything. And this I'm just gonna keep as that for error handling. But yeah, so that's what this does right now. This is the base skeleton for it. Next time I will show you how to add a we're going to add like a second page. We're going to try to make some requests and responses to Express so we can handle them in some way. Like I guess what we can do is we can make a login and create page. Actually, that's probably what we're going to do next. Since we have a bare skeleton of a website, you can actually just make that together, and that would just consist of putting like two links right here, login and create, and then we can, well, first we're going to have to connect the database. So I think actually the next video I'm just going to connect the database to all this skeleton code, and I'll explain to you guys how that's working, and then after that we can work on a create and login page. So that's what we'll do. This is kind of, with this tutorial, it's going to be tutorial slash like a devlog, because I'm going to be using this as for my own site. So yeah, I can't wait to see where this fucking site goes to. So yeah, bye.